Josh?
Yes.
Hey, Josh, how are you, man?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you doing today?
Doing good, man.
Thank you for taking the time to do this interview. I've been a fan for such a long time, ever since Seasons came out, and again, it's just a complete honor to be able to talk to you on such a great occasion that you guys are actually up for a Grammy nomination this year.
Crazy, right? we're still kind of waiting for the, ha ha ha, we got you, like the world's biggest episode of Pranks or something like that. It definitely was unexpected, sure, but we're very, very happy to be in the mix. That's no doubt about that.
Yeah, it's definitely a great thing, and with Thank You being such a great, I feel, representation of the album and where you guys are at this point in time, it's got to be a great feeling to be even just recognized in that regard.
In so many ways, I think, we kind of, with this record, it's hard because with 10 records, you sit down and you kind of map out how you want to go about it. You get two guys that want to make this kind of record, two guys want to make this kind of record, one guy kind of in the middle going back and forth, and, somehow or another it all kind of comes together. But, with this record, it was kind of like, how do we reinvent the wheel without losing what is that's so special about Sevendust, And I don't know. I mean, I think by the time we were finished with it, we all kind of looked at each other and went, wow, okay, it sounds new, it sounds modern, but it sounds like a Sevendust record. I think Thank You is a very Sevendust sounding song. I mean, it nods to a lot of our, music all the way through, even, going all the way back to the first record. But it was an enjoyable record, a lot of fun to make it. And it's always cool when you can do something that isn't super, super difficult, and then you release it and people like it, and then, of course, the icing on the cake with Grammy night, I was like, wow, okay, that's pretty cool.
Oh, very much so. So with the new album, did you have that kind of mindset going in to make this style of album, or did it happen just naturally, or how did that come about?
This one kind of came together. There were some preliminary things that we knew that it was going to be programming heavy, conscious decisions, things like that. But other than that, the sky's the limit, and it's just, you kind of go in there, and, each day you pick from a pile of demos, and you start out at, noon with kind of virtually nothing other than, a couple guitar riffs and a drum beat, and then you go, all right, cool, let's get this up and see what we can get sorted out. And then the next day, on something that didn't exist the day before. So it was a very cool process, nice and relaxed. Everyone kind of just, the support group within the band is great. There's such 5 very, very strong, mindsets when we're in the studio. So you can have one guy, I can be, just having a down day where I don't really feel like I'm on my A game or whatever, and I know someone else is going to be on their A game. 2 or 3 people, might be on their A game all at the same time. And that kind of snaps you back into it. It's like, wow, you get inspired when you hear the fact that there's so many different resources to lean on. There's some bands where, the dynamic is, a lead singer and a guitar player who do the majority of the writing, and everyone else kind of fills in the gaps and stuff like that. But in this band, it's a little different. We can pull from so many different places. I mean, to have a drummer that writes melodies and lyrics, in this kind of a band is a blessing, because it's always nice to have that extra point of view, and that extra vocal input too. Kind of got in there, and we didn't have an album title until we were finished mixing the record. That's the first time that's ever happened. That's the only thing that kind of made us a little nervous. Like, wow, never struggled with an album title, and we just didn't have anything that was immediate. We didn't want to go to the board, the song list, and we were hoping that something else was going to pop up. But when we started going through all the song titles, still the Flaw had the most meaning for all of us. Basically about purging out the old in with the new. Getting rid of that monkey on your back, any of the old, the past. And this was the first time where I think we felt as a band that, every record that we've made probably for the past 10 years, there's always been a distraction, whether it be a lawsuit or whether it's, mediation with an ex-manager, blah, 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 all the old, same old, same old. But it's weird how that just kind of zaps your energy, It may not zap your inspiration, but when you've had to deal with that for, okay, you get up on a conference call from 11 until 1:30, and then you're supposed to go in there and you're supposed to be creative. It's amazing what a toll that stuff can take on. And this was the first time where we didn't have any of that. We just went in, we were like, okay, no one's doing this, we don't owe anybody any money, we're in a good business spot, we're mentally good, we're happy with each other, we're happy to making a record. So, I think it was just kind of one of those records where it was just like the planets just kind of lined up, and we were lucky to kind of be in there at that point in time.
Yeah, and I definitely think that does come through on the album as well, because it does feel very much like a Sevendust album, but it does feel like a very refreshed album as well. With that said, was there any challenges on this album as far as trying to get any particular song finalized, or anything left on the cutting room floor that might be coming up in the future?
Thank you. Thank you was the biggest struggle on the record, ironically enough. We're a weird band, you know. Most songwriters will tell you that, like, the greatest songs in history are the ones that usually write themselves, ones that were never a struggle, that just kind of fell out of thin air. You know, you walk in and boom, all of a sudden, you know, this big hit or, you know, an iconic song just kind of falls in your lap. But that's what's always been different, you know. Some of, you know, Black was a song that we did more on our first record, and our original manager did it because it was the best song out of the list. And, you know, we fast forwarded all the way to the Black Out the Sun record, and we had the same thing happen. We did a leftover song from Old Day Memory that ended up being Decay, that we just figured, hey, you know what, we need some bonus tracks. You know, let's just go ahead and finish this just so we have an extra, have some fun. And I remember we finished it out, and I left for a bit, and I came back, and Benny was walking through the studio, and I was like, how's it going with the vocals? I started smiling, and I was like, good? He goes, that's the single, dude. And I was like, what do you mean it's the single, really? And everyone was saying the same thing, and I was like, shit, man, that's the song. But it didn't come easy. I mean, it took us 3 years to get that thing finished. Same thing with this. One of those, Thank You was one of those early pieces of music that just hung around on the board. It had a chorus that was a challenge to write on. The original chorus, and it was a cool idea, but vocally it just wasn't something that really complemented the song nearly as much as it seemed without the vocals. As a demo, it seemed strong, but as soon as we tried to sing around it, it didn't feel right. You know, it didn't feel like Sevendust. It felt like another band in the chorus. So, you know, that one was sitting in the middle of the pack, and then it kept dropping and dropping and dropping. And by the end of the record, it was like literally one of the last songs that we had to finish. Yanked the chorus out, the chorus was in there, and about an hour and a half later, I had an idea for the chorus, called us in there, and we let George look at me, because I had told him, I said, watch, that song's going to end up being RDK. It'll be a struggle, and it'll end up being one of the best songs on the record. And sure enough, you know, lo and behold, I think that was the only song that we really, really struggled with. There was a couple other odds and ends songs that they were cool, but there was something about Thank You that we knew was too undeniable not to finish. You know, like we had to do that. So it wasn't easy, and it wasn't pretty, but the end result is, you know, crazy, right? Grammy nomination. You drive yourself nuts over one song, and you finally get nominated for a Grammy, and I was like, okay, well, I guess hard work does pay off.
Yeah, and I think that's definitely a good representation of the band as well, with like all the struggles that you guys have been through all of these albums, and getting recognition just from the Grammys alone, let alone all the other recognition for the album. It's great to be able to see that in 2015.
Absolutely. And then plus the irony of the thank you, know, because it was more to our fans than anything, but in a lot of ways, I mean, you know, the thank you to the Grammys, you know, the Grammys for nominating Thank You, you know, it's like, when we released Thank You, finally the fans were like, wow, is that for us? And we were like, yeah, pretty much, you know, but yeah, man, I mean, it's always funny how life throws you those curveballs, and then, you know, something positive comes out of it. You go, wow, all right, I guess everything happens for a reason.
Oh, very much so. You were talking about the original chorus for Thank You not ending up on the finalized version. Is there any chance of that chorus showing up in the future of Sevendust?
It could. I mean, it would have to be in a different song with a different vibe. The original idea was we've always loved the mixture of the super heavy, super melodic. John gives us this ability to be a heavy metal band, and nobody really gets that we're a heavy metal band. Someone even joked around about that on one of the Grammy, I think it was on the website. So under the picture, you can comment and all that stuff. Someone said, too bad Sevendust isn't metal. You know, I was sitting there thinking, well, hell, I've played metal my whole life, but it is funny how a lot of versions of Sevendust is something different. You know, they might know us as that band that does Angel Sun, or the band that does Praise, or, you know, Enemy, and those might not be the most metal songs. Those are songs that, you know, radio is taking and run with it, or had on, you know, special tribute records, whatnot. But we've always kind of been that heavy metal band that hides behind, you know, an R&B. So there's always that impression that we're something different, you know.
But I think that's really what makes you guys stand out, is you always had that heavy edge to you guys, but it's always been, trying to find the right word for it, but just like the right amount of groove and riffs that anyone who doesn't even like metal would be able to really appreciate you guys.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I think when we did the acoustic record, both of them, you know, the Southside record was just a live record, but I think it opened a lot of people's eyes to the possibility that, okay, you know, there's not a lot of heavy metal, so to speak, bands that would venture out and do an acoustic record, much less two of them. I mean, my mother loves that record, and some of our other songs on our other records, she looks at me, she's like, oh God, what's all the screaming about? I'm like, well, we've always been a band with all 6 years available. Never looked at it as just let's just mat it the whole time, or let's ditch that and let's just become a pop band or a commercial rock band. We've always had a hard time fitting in. I think 2001 maybe we did our first Creed run. It was a weird run because we had two runs. We had one book, and then we were going Attached to the Earth, and then we were going back. And it was the weirdest transition that we ever had to make in our lives. Because go out way up for Creed, and we felt like Slayer. Well, then the next tour on Attached to the Earth, we were actually playing with Slipknot and Sepultura and Slayer. We felt like Creed. I was like, wait a minute, hang on a second. We're almost playing the same songs, and we have no idea how to fit in any one spot too well. But I think a lot of bands may look at that as a disadvantage, not focused. But I think in the world of Sevendust, it's nice to see that fans of some of the heavier stuff really do appreciate those acoustic and those super introspective moments that they let LJ shine. They let him come out in the front. I'm not gonna lie, it's great when you get to plug in and run around and jump off drum rides up, but sometimes it's cool when you just sit down, just let the song do all the talking and all the show for you.
Oh yeah, it is so very true. And it's great to see that versatility from you. I mean, someone that's been a Sevendust fan as long as I have, being able to see the different sides from the acoustic live album and the acoustic studio albums to even Kill the Flaw now, it's great to be able to see all of those sides, and you guys are sticking true to the music that you guys actually want to make, which I feel is the most important thing a band can do, is to make the music that they truly want to make.
I think that's probably one of the most important things. Someone that, if people ask me, what kind of music advice give? And I remember, I think it was Dying for Billy Gibbons, where Billy Gibbons told him, learn, play what you want to hear. And it's so true. It's like, you can't expect other people to be a fan of your music if you're not a fan of it. You have to be the ones that are motivated about it. No agenda, what does radio think, or what would a label think, or what's our management going to think. Sometimes you have to put the blinders on and go, you know what? I don't care about anything. We sell one copy of this. I just want to make something that I play for somebody, and hairs on my arm, and while I'm playing it. And I think we've always kind of kept that point of view. I mean, there's a lot of that, man. Like I said, we can go super heavy, and we can go super acoustic and super light. But I think all of those moments, we look at, and we're fans of them. So, it has to pass by us, and we want to impress each other. I mean, 20 years in, still want to play a demo of the rest of our guys, have everyone high five, and after you're done with it. I mean, last thing you want to do is bring something in where everyone goes, yeah, that's pretty cool. It happens, and you can't write songs that everyone's going to love. That's why probably why we're so much, why we write so much and have side projects. I mean, we're eternal musician. Like, I didn't do this for a living. Still been making music, play for fun, put stuff out there, and with friends. But you have to impress yourself. You can't impress yourself. You're never going to impress anyone else.
That is so very true, and I'm very glad to be able to hear that from you as well. And again, just talking about the versatility, again, with being able to do a full acoustic album, to go in and write and Kill the Flaw, is that creativity still there? Being able to switch from doing acoustic pretty much all of last year to getting back into doing the full-blown Sevendust album, is that creativity and fire still going on?
Absolutely. I think it actually kind of fired us up a little bit for Kill the Flaw, too, because we love doing music. It was an experiment where we got to go out there and really got to bring an evening with, and we had keys and just whole presentation and, the song list and, all of so much of a different experience for both us and the fans. But as much as we love doing that, when that last show finished up, we're like, all right, we're ready to plug back in and get busy. And after you've been doing that for a while, I was kind of worried. I was like, are we going to be desensitized and go in and we're going to make a real Bon Jovi, pop, melodic, down in something, and the opposite. Everything was just mega heavy over the top, great drums, and let's just push the envelope as far as we can and still have it be Sevendust. I mean, we can't push it so far that it's not Sevendust. Even though I think some of the boundaries definitely extended. I mean, the experimental was just meaning Morgan plays drum stuff that I never thought about doing it. But it was just that constant raising the bar. How can we impress ourselves by switching gears, going from anything back into the heavy thing? And I think it just fired us up. We had appreciation for the others, but we were real excited about doing our normal deal.
Oh, very cool. So, what are your plans for 2016?
2016 is going to be busy. We released the record in October, but it's only done 5 or 6 headline shows on the whole thing. A couple fill-in dates in the Godsmack tour, the New Year's Eve, which would be a full headliner, and then there were a couple odds and ends shows. We're going to hit Australia and New Zealand in March. Rumor has it we may be trying to hit places go out, we're going to do proper headline stage. We haven't done yet. You know, it'd be kind of weird. Most album cycles, you release a record and then immediately you're out there and you're headlining a touring behind. This is a totally different animal. You know, we're kind of working everything a little bit back. We had the opportunity to do the Godsmack, Breaking Down, Shinedown thing. Then we took it. You know, we said, all right, let's go do that. And then when we had the opportunity to get back to Australia, we were chomping at the bit. You know, it's been a few years in there. We had the Soundwave thing that kind of imploded last year, and looks like it's imploding everywhere now. I mean, that's all my news has been. You know, 2 days ago it was the whole 2017 not happening, and then I wake up morning to see 2016 just got canceled. So, you know, for those Australian fans, we're so excited to be able to get back there. And as much as we love Soundwave, you know, it's hard to justify 35 minutes for the amount of money that they'd have to spend. Now, granted, you got a lot of bangs, a lot of band, but Sevendust fans look full, you know, hour and a half headline set. So we'll get the full Sevendust experience in Australia and New Zealand. We've never been to New Zealand, and Australia has been neglected that time we get back down under.
Yeah, especially after the news broke today about Soundwave being canceled. I know the Sevendust fans in Australia and New Zealand would really, truly appreciate a full headlining show down there. And I know the next time that you guys make it through Minnesota on a headlining run, I will definitely be there, because I can't wait to see what you guys are playing off the new album.
For sure. I'm from Somerset already, so I know we're going to be doing one of the big radio shows up there. I just saw that through.
Oh yes, the Northern Invasion. I forgot that you guys are actually a part of that in May.
Yep, Northern Invasion, yeah.
Oh, I'll have to make it out there.
Okay, cool. Yeah, another one really, really going to be cool. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy with Australia. The whole Soundwave thing has just gone sideways, and, you know, it's unconfirmed, but our management called a couple days ago that, you know, would you be opposed to adding dates, because they may be wanting to add dates in Australia. And I kind of sit there and I laugh and go, you know, amazing that we struggle to get back there, and all of a sudden we get an opportunity to go outside of doing that's the whole thing. And, you know, the reception is great for it. So, I mean, we're super, super thankful for that.
Yeah, and it's very cool to see, too, because you guys are absolutely deserving of all the praise that you've been getting for the new album. And again, it's just been a complete honor to be able to talk to you about this, being a longtime fan and being able to help promote as well. It's, again, just thank you very much for being able to take the time to do this.
Absolutely, brother. We appreciate everything you've done for us, too, man.
One non-Sevendust related question. With the end of 2015 coming up, has there been any albums that you've been listening to this year that have caught your ear?
You know, this year's been a funny year. I don't listen to a lot of new music when I'm making our own stuff. I kind of put the blinders on. I kind of just go back to my roots. You know, listen to a lot of Pantera, a lot of 9 Inch Nails, a lot of the normal things that I, you know, bring into my influence, things that I love the most. Finished Kill the Flaw, and then realized we were going to be sitting idle for about 4 months. So I jumped straight into writing just to see if there was any spark there for the new Projected record, which the first record I released in 2012, so I'm kind of falling behind. We've got 18 songs yet, so you know, it's been a busy year in the writing world, you know, and I'm thankful that, you know, still there and the creators are still flowing, but I don't really listen to a whole lot of new music. But I can honestly say, Bonnie Records, I heard both of those from start to finish, basically as they were building them from nothing. Both of those records are amazing. So the Dust record, when it drops, I think in April, is getting a definitely, you know, definitely need to check that one out for sure. But the first one that he released this year is great. Motorized is a great record, great band, bunch of guys.
Oh, very cool. Well, once again, thank you for taking the time to do this interview. Before we wrap things up, is there anything else that you'd like to bring up that I haven't brought up yet?
No, just that you know, a lot of fans in the States are wondering and kind of getting nervous. You know, a lot of people are actually thinking that we're not going to tour this record in the States, and that's the farthest thing from the truth. We've been looking for the timing, we've been looking for the right opportunities, and it's not often that we go out and we actually play a fourth spot. And we've never played with Godsmack in an opening, you know, spot. So when they asked us, we said, yeah, that'd be something that'd be really cool to do. And then the Shinedown, Breaking Down thing, you know, that was something that kind of came out of left field, but we had so much fun, it's a good time doing it. So those folks who are worried about us not headlining, you're going to get tired of us by the end of the summer. We're going to be everywhere. So spring and summer will be full focus on festivals and headlines for Sevendust.
Awesome. Thank you once again for doing the interview. I cannot wait to see you guys up at Northern Invasion. And for anyone listening to this who hasn't checked out, make sure to check out Sevendust's new album, Kill the Flaw. And keep track on the Grammys. It's very possible that Sevendust might be winning for Best Metal Performance. Once again, thank you.
My pleasure.